One more thing that I want to say, one more little story about just like people mattering. Um, so my sister came and joined me for the last week of the Camino, um, and that was a really incredible experience. Um, it was really fun to share with her. It was also tough. We love each other. We're really close, but we bickered like hell on the
Oh,
Camino.
well,
And
you're a brother and sister. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, but um, towards the end of our, so we got to Santiago, got the really incredible experience, felt the joy of sort of finishing,
Yeah.
and it was pouring on us when we got to Santiago.
Mhm.
I was half convinced we were going to get struck by lightning a block away from the
Oh, man.
cathedral, and I was going to be pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so we get to the cathedral. We spend a couple days in Santiago. My friends who had walked ahead of me were still there, and so we got to meet up with them and hang out
That's
with them
cool.
for a couple days, which was really fun. And then our plan was to walk to the coast, which was another 70 miles, something like that, 60
Sheesh.
miles. Uh, Maybe not quite that much. We were going to do it over 4 or 5 days. Maybe it was only like 50 miles, 80
I don't know.
kilometers, something
Sounds
like
like a
that.
long way.
Yeah. And it was raining. It was, the weather had been rainy for the last
Mhm.
week. We were still in Galicia. So it was kind of muddy, but we were like, all right, we're going to try it. Let's go for it. And my sister's a champ. Her feet were killing her the entire
Mm,
time. Like, it took a week for mine to start hurting. Hers started hurting like day two.
mm,
And she gets blisters easily. Um, and um, so like she was in a lot of pain. Hiked the
mm.
120 kilometers that she did with me like a champ. Never complained. But we were worried a couple times for her. Like, can you make it?
Right.
Are we doing the right thing by pushing through this?
Yeah, should you
Um,
chill? Yeah.
yeah. Um, and so, but she did. She pushed through. We made it Santiago, and then we had a couple rest days, so she was feeling good. So we were like, all right, we're gonna go again. Um, and then we got a day in, and um, we just decided to quit. And at
Mm,
first, I really struggled with that decision. Both, I had it in my head that I was going to walk to the coast, and I wanted to be able to say I had walked across a country,
mm.
um, ignoring the fact that people will still say that I did
Yeah, you
that.
did.
Like, no
Yeah.
one cares that no one
You
cares
walked
about
across
the
the country.
details. Um, but so I was really struggling, and so at one point I was even like thinking like, if she and Maddie, my girlfriend, who Maddie was going to walk with us to the coast as well, if they want to stop, maybe I'll meet them at the coast or something like
Mhm.
that. And a couple things happened. One, I realized how stupid that was. Like, how stupid it was that I was so determined to like check off this dumb
Mm.
little box rather than spending time with my girlfriend and my sister in a foreign country, which was like kind of the whole point of them being
Right,
there.
right.
And the other thing that happened is I realized, like, we ultimately decided to quit. We decided to quit before we got to the coast. And I told myself I was doing it for my sister. I told myself it was because her feet were hurting her and I was doing the right thing. I was, kind of
Sure.
like being noble or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and we ended up getting in a little bit of a fight about that because it really made her feel uncomfortable because she was like, I didn't ask you to quit. I didn't
Mm,
want you to quit. And what I realized was I was protecting my ego, saying,
mm.
like, oh, I'm quitting for you. I'm not quitting
Isn't
for
that
me.
great?
I would keep going on. But the truth is, I was ready to quit. I had done
You've
enough.
done it.
I'd been wrecked by bed bugs. I had a stomach ache at this
Yeah.
point. I got a stomach bug right at the end, which is super fun. um,
It is.
and, um, and I was quitting for me, not for her.
Right.
And so when I talk about like the people being the most important part, that's part of it too, was that experience of like both putting my ego a little bit above my sister for a minute there, and like
Yeah.
I was trying to protect that more than I was, trying to think about her
Man.
feelings and how she was going to feel about the way I was talking about this. And then to like, you know for a little while I did want to push on without her,
Sure.
and that was so stupid. And
Mm,
so, um, yeah, when I say the people were the most important part, I mean the new people I met and the relationships that I had, with my sister and my girlfriend who came and joined me, and,
that's
like,
great.
it was just a reminder that those things matter so much more um, than
Uh,
ego or box checking or
I love that
any
you
of it.
talked about ego, man. That is, it takes a lot of self introspection and self-awareness to be able to see that in the first place. Like, that's strong. I mean, most people don't ever would do that and would never even register with them at any point. They would just argue on and keep going or whatever.
Well, luckily, I've got a sister who's willing to call me on my shit,
Oh,
so
hey, we all need that though. We all need that friend, you know? Like
yeah.
you know, you could probably say it in a way that is not quite as direct as a sister might say it, but we all need that friend. I can only imagine. Like, "You big dumbass."